Speaking of the end of a legend, the co-main event is one that's I feel like I might see the end of a legend. One guy who's dear to my heart. We're talking about Frankie Edgar versus Corey Sandhagen in the co-main event. Big fight. I'm so excited about this fight, but I hope that I get just one last good fight out of Frankie, and then I want him to walk out into the sunset.
Frankie, it's such a fascinating thing, right? Because Frankie's, former 155-pound champion. Usually when we say a guy and he fought at 145 and now he's dropping down to 135 for his second fight, fought Pedro Munoz, had a fucking awesome fight. It was good shit all over. Usually when we look at a guy who's dropping down in weight, we say it's a desperation move, especially late in a career, right? Where you've taken some losses and you're looking for a fresh coat of paint and you get yourself down to a new weight class. Seen it a million times, right? Especially in the UFC, I feel like. But with Frankie, it's not quite that, because he should have been here for a long, long time. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. he should have been at bantamweight. So he's not changing his body to do this. He's just cutting weight like he knows how to anyway. And there will be more restriction and all that, but I don't read it as the same kind of desperation and issues that he's had. Here's a problem. He is fighting a very good fighter, a dude who is very good at fighting, and that is Corey Sandhagen, who is coming off a fresh wheel kick knockout over Marlon Moraes.
Ooh, fight.
Absolutely. Has looked incredible in his UFC run. His only loss was to Aljamain Sterling, which was basically an eliminator fight, and he's generally considered a top 3 guy in the world right now. This would be the third division where Frankie Edgar has beaten a top 3 guy. He did it at 55, he did it at 45, and he did it at 135. Now if he can. I don't know that anybody else has ever done that. I'm almost certain they haven't. What are you seeing it? Are you feeling it? Can he beat a 28-year-old top 3 in the world guy?
Wow. Frankie Edgar, one of the greatest 155-pound champions ever. His title defenses, I think 2 years in a row, got Fight of the Year candidates. His fights with Gray Maynard, if you haven't seen those fights, they are one of the best examples about mindset, what you could do if you put your mind to something, and resilience, how much you can overcome the impossible. They are just examples of why sometimes you got to let the fight go. You don't want the guy to get murdered, but at the same time, you want to give the guy an opportunity to come back. And when he pulled that comeback knockout against Gray Maynard, when he had gotten knocked down and it looked like he was about to get finished, and then came back to stop Gray Maynard, changed the way that a lot of refs react to the way someone is when they're being hurt. His move down when he moved down to featherweight to fight against Jose Aldo for the 145-pound championship, that was a great fight. The first fight was phenomenal. It was close. Going into the fight, it was 50-50. He did lose, but then he became the number 2 guy in the division who was just scorching everyone. He was just scorching everyone, just dominating the division. Had a phenomenal run there. And now just seeing the end of his career, I think, man, I just can't count Frankie out. I can't count him out. But Corey Sandhagen is a fighter in his prime. It's his moment. He's 28 years old. We've seen nothing but dominance. We've seen a few hiccups, but every time we see the hiccups, we see a better Corey Sandhagen. So I'm rooting for Frankie. I'm rooting for Frankie because we're the same height and weight. We have the same size arms. It always felt like I was watching myself do MMA. I was like, hell yeah, that would be me if I was in the cage.
So if I had spent my whole life wrestling instead of doing karate and trying to get my dick sucked, I could be right there with that dude. Man, Frankie's one of the best of all time, right? Debuted, against Tyson Griffin way back in the day. I know you remember that. Yeah. Brought in to lose to Tyson Griffin, by the way, and to get highlight reeled in what ended up being maybe the fight of that year. That was one of the best fights of 2007 when that happened. He has put together just so many unbelievable moments.
The pound-for-pound king of the moment, which was BJ Penn, who nobody thought that anyone could dethrone BJ Penn at lightweight. He was invincible, and Frankie Edgar beat him twice.
That's why whenever, somebody's like, oh, well, Khabib could never get got. It's like, I heard that with BJ. And then somebody that nobody saw coming beat him twice over 3 times. And, shit, it'd be like that. MMA, shit happens. you're on top until you're not. Worst case scenario for Frankie, it kind of turns into a redux of the end of his 45 run, where he was losing to Ortega and he got KO'd by Korean Zombie in the first round. And it looked like his resilience was a little down from where it was. He wasn't able to make that crazy comeback like he used to be able to, because he would always get rocked.
I feel like was the end of his crazy comeback.
Say again.
I feel like the Ortega fight was the day that we all realized there's less of these crazy comebacks than there were 5 years ago.
Yeah, he can't run through the wall like he used to. I'm gonna pick Sandhagen. And I don't think it'll be the end of Frankie, but it will be a setback, a big one. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. He's fucking. If anybody has ever made a career out of proving people's fight picks wrong, it's Frankie Edgar.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got going on?
The division for the winner.
That's a great question, because it depends on who wins this, and it depends on who wins the title fight, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say Aljamain wins the title, and let's say Corey Sandhagen wins this fight. I don't think they'll do that rematch that quick, because he ran through him in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Got his back, choked him out in a way that's difficult to call fluky. And so I feel like they would have trouble promoting that fight. They would probably give it to somebody else. If Frankie were to win, I feel like they give him the shot, whoever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They would love to get Frankie Edgar in a title fight. And if he beats Corey Sandhagen, he's probably earned it, to be honest. Yeah. If you're Frankie Edgar and you come down, you beat Pedro Munoz in a fight of the year contender, and you beat Corey Sandhagen in any kind of way, well, man, to me, that's as good an argument for a title shot as anybody has at 35, especially given the star power and the numbers it'll bring to that division. Always a good thing. Man, crazy. We could have had Frankie Edgar versus Cejudo. That would have been a good-ass fight. That's kind of one of those ones that we missed out on, isn't it? That kind of goes on the list of we never saw this fight, but what would it have looked like?
Honestly, I feel like Cejudo would have had his number, though.
I was going to go the other way. I was going to say Frankie can get it. Who knows? It would have been amazing. If Sandhagen wins and Petr Yan wins, I feel like Corey might get the title shot. They might give Corey to it might pair up Petr and Corey. But if Sandhagen wins here, he's got to be praying that Yan wins over Sterling. I
feel like Aljo right now is just too on fire.
Bro, he's incredible.
We've always known that he had this in him, and he's finally at that point where we're like, that. At least I'm looking at him like that's the guy. I think he's going to have a victory. Yeah.
This is it. This is the guy. He had a hybrid rules kind of, I guess, grappling match recently with a guy who's already said he's going into MMA. This college wrestler's already said he's going into MMA. He's got the biggest social media following of any college wrestler, I'm pretty sure. Roman Bravo Young of Penn State wrestles at 133. And they did 3 minutes freestyle wrestling and then 3 minutes submission grappling. Very friendly. Just like, hey, I saw you're doing this. You want to get into MMA one day? Let's get together. Let's do some matches. Sandhagen and Roman Bravo Young is like top 3 or 4 in Division I in the country. He's unbelievable. Man, he was taking him down. He was scoring points on Roman. And he was like a D3 wrestler. Like, he should not be doing that. That doesn't happen. And so this guy's grappling, and then they did the grappling. He tapped him out in like a minute. He's on it right now.
Yeah.
Whatever his run is, he's probably on it right now. Unless he's in for one of these like Alistair Overeem careers where you just get to hit a million fucking respawns.
Man, it's funny. That's a similarity. If you want to say who a young Alistair Overeem is, I would say it's Alexander Volkov.
I can see that, right? Because he gives him away.
Yeah, he gives him that biggest fight.
Volkov is he's advanced from where a young Overeem was. You know what I mean? I would say.
Yeah,
could be heavyweights don't age, so maybe Volkov is going to be here for the next 15 years.